Hello, everyone. How are you? I am just tightening up my tripod. It was kind of doing, uh-oh, still doing crazy things to me. Anyway, how are you all this evening? Hi, Toya. How are you? And welcome back from the beautiful state of Hawaii. I hope you had fun. I wish I was in your suitcase, taking that trip with you. Um, Hi, Sheena. How are you? And Jennifer and Alexandra. How are you? No, Alexandria. I'm sorry. I pronounced your name wrong. How are you all? Tonight, hi, Reevy. Tonight we have our women to follow. We've had one each month this year. And tonight we are following Elizabeth Malson. She is the founder and president of Amslee Institute, which is a nanny and babysitter online training. And she is a mother, and she is a whole host of other things. She studied at North Carolina University and got a master's degree in business administration. And she also got a master's of science from the University of Southern California. And we're going to find out about her dream and her vision for Amslee Institute. And let me see if I can invite her on. That's adding. And I have on the wrong glasses tonight, so you all going to have to bear with me with your questions so I can see them and see you. Hi, uh, Allie. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? Hi,
Yeah.
Claylee and Terry. Okay, so before we get into Amslee, um, tell us a little bit about yourself outside of your the Amslee Institute. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yes. So I always start off with the most important job in the world. And for me, that's being a mom. I am blessed to have a first grader who just started school last.
Yay!
Yes. And it's a new school. And he came home today and he's like, Mom, they have news in the morning and I want to be a weatherman.
Well, that's a good thing.
So I'm super excited about that. And so, yes, I'm a mom. I am sorry. My phone keeps pausing. So if you see me click it, I'm trying to unpause it. I am a single mom, so I also have experience kind of working with others in a community to help raise my son. And so that's the most important thing to me, in addition to kind of everything else out there.
Yes, momhood does take precedence of a lot of things.
Absolutely. And caught up. There's so much craziness. You got to run here. You got to go there. You've got this play date. You've got that work commitment. You got this family thing. And sometimes we miss the best moments. And so having the opportunity to slow down and get down on my knees and be at the same level and just listen to what he's sharing is just so, so valuable. And then I run
Yes.
on this thing. Now
Yes. Beg your pardon?
you're a mom too, right?
I am a mom of five boys.
Wow.
Yes. And so I learned how to cook like for an army because they don't just eat a simple meal. Especially when they get teenagers, they eat for like grown men, like two or three grown men. So now they've been gone for a while, and it still is hard for me not to cook for an army because I've cooked for an
Right.
army so long. So I try my best. Okay, you don't need that much. Condense it down. And I hate trying to half the recipe and half this. I'm like, oh, my brain is not feeling that right now. Just cook.
Right. Well, you spent so many times having trays of baked chicken, not just one or two.
Yes, okay, so I need about 4 packs of this and about 5 boxes of that and cereal. Oh my gosh. Let's not even talk about how much cereal they go through. And milk. Uh-uh. Totally, totally. But anyway, I digress. So tell us more about you.
So, I had the privilege very early on when I was living in Los Angeles to have a wonderful woman join my family as a live-in, and we had a wonderful experience. And she helped my son really from newborn until he was about 3.5 years old. And I had
Wow.
experience with a live-in nanny, and it was her first time as a nanny. It was my first time ever having a nanny, and I didn't know how magical it was for the both of us. But then I had a job that moved me to Florida. And Florida is just a very different place when it comes to the nanny community. And for the first time, I had kind of some challenges and I had some experiences that didn't go really well. And I struggled a little bit on what to look for and how to find somebody. And nannies were nervous about interviewing. So I kind of came to this opportunity where I looked around and there were great things happening. And then there were, lots of resources. But when nannies were talking about becoming professional, there wasn't kind of a Department of Education licensed college curriculum just for nannies. And
Right.
so that's what I became passionate about. That's what I wanted to build to say. There's a difference between a sitter and a nanny and a career nanny and a professional nanny. How do we create an environment that we can elevate these professionals in a way that they can talk about living wages and not just minimum wage? They can talk about things that say, yes, I'm in this as a career. And so that's what I kind of am so passionate about. And that's kind of, are you guys seeing the pauses as well, or is it
I'm
just
I'm
me?
hearing it in my ear and it's pausing and it's like, okay, well I'm glad it's only like 2 or 3 words in between there because I'm like, okay, okay, we can make out what you're saying, the gist of what you're saying, but it is pausing. But
And I have no idea what it is. So let me see if I can try something to get that not to happen. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm playing with the settings, and I do apologize that I've done a couple Facebook lives, and this is the first time I've ever encountered this. But I'm gonna try to fix it for you guys. How annoying. Um, So yeah, so that's a whole lot of information kind of about me and about kind of why there's a group of us who are trying to do something different. And when I say a group of us, it's totally a group. People, see me as the face of Amslee, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you for inviting me to kind of share some things. But it's not me. I'm not a nanny. I've hired nannies. I've worked with nannies. I'm passionate about nannies. I've never been one. The curriculum came from college faculty members. Of the
Mhm.
30 faculty members, 9 of them were professional nannies. And so it really is all about
Wow.
them. A lawyer teaches the children in the law class. A child psychologist teaches our understanding children class.
Hmm.
A worker who ran a big curriculum for toddlers taught that class. All of our faculty members are required to have a master's degree or above and 5 years of experience in order to be faculty members. And so we wanted to just do something a little bit different and provide just another opportunity for nannies to kind of choose how to manage their careers.
Okay, I like that. Now tell me something. I know that the program is for nannies and nannies and babysitters. And I know I was a babysitter when I started babysitting at 11, but then I got outside of my cousins and, relatives, because technically as practice, but it's not really babysitting until you babysit someone outside of your family. And I was like about 15 or 16 when I started babysitting. So, what is the age limit? Can they start as early as 15, 16 years old and take the classes? Because I know technically uh, You're not a nanny, an official. You're too young, I guess, too young to be a nanny until you're like 18, 19 years old.
So the way we worked it is we wanted to acknowledge that there are great people who start at that 11 to 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody ask me questions or ask the Amslee staff questions, we talk to them and hear about their goals, and we encourage them to do one of the other programs that's out there. You know, we'll throw around the YMCA program, the Red Cross program. There's other programs that
Mm-hmm.
can serve that. Amslee Institute is licensed by the Department of Education, so we go with federal and state law. So to
Okay.
legally employ, you have to be 16 years old. That's the federal law.
Okay.
Enrolled in a college level program, you have to be completed high school or enrolled in high school, because some people are in high school and college at the same time.
Right.
Those two criteria are what puts Amslee where we are, which is you have to be 16 years old or older and have graduated or currently enrolled in order to be eligible to enroll in our college level programs.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's
So
how it.
so we can be 16 years old. So well, shoot, my children are older than that now, but our children can start, that mom, I like what you do. I like, going to work with you and doing this. And, because I took my children to work with me, and because I wanted them to be great fathers, and I wanted them to know that babies are going to cry. And also, kind of selfishly, as a mom, to deter them from having grandchildren too soon. So I wanted them to know, okay, this is what you're going to have to deal with if you have a baby. And guess what? You're going to have to change Pampers. You're going to have to deal with them crying. You're going to have to figure it out. And that's what I did. I threw them in. I had a home daycare, and I had babies there, and I made them, go get the diapers. I, they helped out in every way. They learned how to cook. They learned about nutrition. They learned everything, because my grandmother said, you can't live in this house and not know how to cook. You can't live in this house and not be resourceful. So in my house, you had to be resourceful. So they learned how to take care of the kids. They learned how to cook. They learned how to clean up. They learned so many different things. And I would take them to work. And honestly, some of the kids clung to my youngest son because he just got it. It was like he was a little kid magnet, and they clung to him. And I'm like, okay, and I'm getting ready to take the baby, and they're like, no, we want him. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's time for me to take you. No, I said, Micah, I'm going to need you to carry them upstairs. I'm going to need you. And they became so fascinated with him that I was happy that they were fascinated with him. I was happy that he was learning. I was happy that they were doing exactly what he told them to do. And I was like, tell them to do this, tell them to do that, tell them to do this. And my mom used to do the same thing to me. And she was my first babysitter trainer. And so when you talked about being 16 and being able to take these courses online and be able to do all these things at 16, that's going to make you more valuable when you become 18, 19 years old, and you can actually be a nanny. And you can start out at a higher pay rate than you would if you were just, okay, well, I don't have any years of experience. I don't have any professional training. I don't have this. I don't have that. And they just make you a little mommy's helper. And they pay
Right.
you minimum wage. Whereas, take the classes.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide an opportunity. And I tried to get down to 15. And I just, again, we're licensed, so I couldn't get the Department of Education unhinged off. I'm all for, if you're willing to learn and do the work and have the experience, and instead of going out on a Friday night and hanging out at the football game with your friends, you're going to take care of some kids and earn some money and save that for something. I want to be as supportive as we can of all of those people. A question we've gotten as well is, what happens if you don't have a high school diploma from the United States? And the answer is, it doesn't have to be from the United States. As long as you
Oh,
have a high school
good.
diploma, If it's in a different language, you have to pay to have it translated. But we're not even going to say it has to be an American high school. If you're coming here and you want to do the work, we're going to do everything we can to help you get there.
Okay, so we have a question. How would a seasoned nanny benefit from this curriculum? That was going to be one of my questions, but in a different wording. But that was going to be one of my questions. So we'll answer her question first, and then I'll follow up with mine.
Absolutely. And thank you for the question. So we're finding as we're a new program, there are two types who are investing. Those early in their careers who are trying to kickstart their careers and ask for a bigger salary, and those who are more seasoned in their careers. Those who go for professional certification are looking for kind of one of three things. One, they want the continuing education, and the curriculum is very, very different. We focus on being a family assistant, how to communicate with families, and they're interested in the curriculum and developing. And they're interested in the more practical skills on caring with children, like our special education classes, our fitness for athletes classes, some of those higher level expertise classes, including learning environments or how to manage groups of kids in classroom management. The second reason we're getting very seasoned nannies is because they understand the power of going to a high potential family, a high income family that most likely has invested in a lot of education and saying, this is my career, I believe in it, I'm investing in education, and I've earned a professional childcare diploma. That goes a long way with this really high potential families and these higher income net worth families, because it helps them connect with the family on that investment in a career. And the third one is absolutely job-based. If they're in an environment where there's lots of competition or they really want to ask for top dollar, having a high school diploma plus CPR and first aid plus a childcare diploma from a licensed trade school will help kick them up in the running and get that interview and get that job. So Toya, does that kind of answer your question? Or Angela, does that kind of provide some insights for you?
Yes, it provides some information, but I have a question. And I may get shot down, but I'm going to ask anyway. So, the seasoned nanny who has, as I know you have 5 different areas and one builds upon another. Now, if I'm a seasoned nanny and I know, is there any way I could either test out of those other 4 to get to the professional, or can I go straight to the professional nanny and prove to you that I have all the hours and the documentation and all of that? Is that possible, or do I have to go from the babysitter to the advanced and on up the stair steps?
Great question. I'll give you the short answer and then I'll explain the why. You have to go through the program in order because we're a technical school that kind of does freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Or in this case, it goes from foundational skills into being a nanny skills, into becoming a specialist to a family assistant to a professional. Saying that though, the basic program is built by college faculty. So the very first class that's in there is Understanding Children, that's authored by a child psychologist. So what's in the basic level is not just, hey, here's how you put on a diaper or how you swaddle for nap time or sleep training. It really includes college level materials. The basic program has a class on stress management. Again, it's taught by a psychologist. How do you as a childcare provider manage stress? And how do you help children who are going into stressful situations? So the basic program focuses a lot on health and safety and environment. The intermediate program is age-appropriate child development. This is your newborn specialist class, your toddler class, your preschool class, your elementary class. The third level is the advanced level. Here we get into health and nutrition. How do you do special diets? How do you manage kids who have special medical issues? How do you handle athletes? How do you learn about kids who are advanced or kids who might be behind? Our fourth level is specialist. This is the family assistant level. How do you care for pets if you have to? Maybe you've grown up as a dog person and have never had to care for a cat. Or how do you do different types of cleaning environments? The difference between granite or something else. All of those. How do you manage a budget? How do you create a schedule for a family? How do you do meal planning? With 5 sons, I'm sure you've done a lot of meal planning, but not everybody has.
Yes. That's kind of a forced issue.
Right? And then the level talks about brain development, trends in childcare. So even though it starts at the basic and everyone starts at the basic, it's not, foundational stuff that you would pick up in a little class or a quick class. It's college level. And I know I'm talking a lot, but the second part is our programs are not just classes. Each level of the program requires a minimum number of paid childcare experience with non-family members. So if you're a 16-year-old and you want to sign up for our professional program, the answer is you can't because it requires 2 years of paid childcare experience. So a 16-year-old has to walk through the classes in an order and gain enough paid childcare experience to really get all the program requirements met. Our programs also require references. So if you don't have relationships with the families that you've worked with to get good references, that's going to kind of pace you through the program in a certain order as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. But I was just wondering if there's a way we can just kind of test out of it and get to the good stuff.
Everybody wants to do that. They're like, I want to pay now. Just jump to professional. And the answer is every single person who has taken the curriculum, and I'm going to throw Crystal out. I don't know if she's watching right now, but I did a Facebook Live with Crystal last week. Crystal has been a nanny for over 10 years. She has a bachelor's degree in child education. She also is a nanny agency. She took the program and she was shocked at how much she learned from it. Right now, we have a student named Anna in New York. She has worked for a celebrity family in Hamptons in New York. And she's like, I'm going to breeze through these first couple of levels. And she called me and she's like, I'm slowing down. This is stuff I haven't heard from. I haven't taken a class from a lawyer. I haven't taken a class from a nutritionist. And so they're getting things from that. That being said, there are nannies out there who have bachelor's degrees and they're going to say, look, I did an entire quarter on classroom management. Can I get credit for that? And the answer right now is no, you have to take our class as well. But I am working with the Department of Education, and I do hope in the next year or so we will be able to accept college transfer credit from other colleges as we also be able to do that to other programs as well.
Yay!
Right?
And the reason I ask that is because I used to live in the state of Florida, and in order to work in any classroom or any, I know specifically for early Head Start, because that's where my first job was when I moved to Florida. You have to take all these Florida classes. They're online, but you have to take all these classes to learn about the classroom, the square footage, what happens when when you're in a building and the building codes and all this other stuff. You have to learn all of that for the state of Florida. You can't just go in the classroom and say, oh, I taught in the state of Texas and, I know everything. No, Florida has their own regulations. They have their own system of doing things. So you have to go through them. But I was able to transfer some of my college credits and get past part of that. I was like, yes, but I had to take the ones that was specifically to the state of Florida and their codes and building regulations and all of that. I had to take those classes. But the rest of them, they sent me my little transcript with everything on there. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. So yes, I can see why it's important to, go step by step by step. But and again, being a seasoned nanny, I want to go and move on and move on and move on. And I also understand when you say about the bachelor's degree, having a degree in education. And for 17 years, I stood up on that. I have a degree in early childhood education. I know about kids. I know the foundation. I know this. I know that. I know this. And that's what I got most of my jobs on. And when I became a nanny, I was thinking, okay, well, hey, I got it all. But then when I found out about all the nanny groups and all the nanny professional trainings and all this, and I started going, I was like, oh my God. Some of these things I felt so stupid about because I was like, when did that come into play? How did I miss that? Because they don't teach you this in the classroom. There's a difference between classroom teaching and being a nanny. And It's so different. The responsibilities are different. It's more of a one-on-one and not a, okay, class, let's do this. Okay, class, let's do that. There's a lot more freedom. There's a lot more responsibility. There's a lot more of one-on-one talking back and forth with the parents. In the classroom, you may say, "Hey," and the parents aren't out the door. Here in Nanny World, you have to correspond and communicate with the parents, send pictures, know what to do in first aid. You don't have the medical nurse at, go to the nurse's station and get the little band-aid. No, you have to know what to do and when to call 911, when to call mom and dad, when to, oh, that's just a little boo-boo. Let's put this on here. Let's do this. Let's do that. And call mom and let them know. There is a totally different world. So I understand. I get it. You have to take the foundation in order to
Right.
get further and further. But I will say this, in all the classes that I have taken, all the professional development nanny classes that I have taken, and each one I've learned some things, and I each one, there are things that I already knew, and I was like, I knew there was a method to my madness. I knew there was a reason behind all of this. I knew this, but it made me more confident, and it made me more self-assured, where I could go back to that family and say, look, this is that, this is this, and this is, and I became more confident in asking for the things that I wanted and asking for, like, ask the nanny. I work overnight now, and I taught all the parents that I work with, I said, look, uh, they want me to come in from 8 to 8 or 12 hours. I said, I don't mind. I said, but on Monday nights, we're going to have to adjust that schedule. I said, because this is important to me. This is my baby. I will come and take care of your babies, but this is my baby. I said, it's very important to me that I give back to my community. It's very important to me that I bring the nannies together so we can share information and we can stay up on top of things together. I said, I learn every time I do the show, I learn something new because people ask questions and I'm like, I didn't think about that. But it's important
Yes.
every time you take a class. And with your classes, and when you're talking about the psychology part of it and the nutrition part of it and a lawyer, okay, then that one I'm going to need. Let me speak to the lawyer about the contracts and what I'm legally bound to. And those
Right.
classes I will need. And I know that I will need them, especially as an NCS, because we are contract workers and we need to know how to protect ourselves. And we need to know what can go in our contract, what can't go in our contract. And not just NCSs, but every nanny should have a contract. And we should know our rights as well as educate the parents on our rights, that we're not salary workers, that we work by
Right.
the hour. So I get it. I get it. I get it. But I still want to advance to the top.
I know, right? I still, if you took the take a college class already, and we're a college level program, we want to get there too. We want to be able to say we accept transfer credit. If you did it at another college, we'll accept it and go for that. And we're going to try to do that like I said, that's our next round with the Department of Education. And
Good.
you hit it on the Florida and every state has a process. We are committed to the process. It's just going to take us a little while. But you're absolutely right. Nannies are so different from teachers in the curriculum we have, but because teachers can go in the lunchroom and ask another teacher, and nannies don't have somebody right in the same building to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
Nannies responsibility than teachers, not less. And so there's just a lot more on there. So I learn from every time I speak to someone new, and I had never thought what you just shared, but it's so important. It gives you the confidence to know how powerful and how strong and how skilled you are as a nanny, and how to feel good about what you're doing, and then how to communicate that with others. And I hadn't thought about it that way. So I'm so
Yes.
glad you shared.
Shannon has a question. She wants to
Okay.
know, what's the total cost of your program from start to finish?
Fantastic. So Shannon, our tuition and fees are bundled in one number. We have to break it down for the Department of Ed, but what you really care about is what's the total number. So that's what I'm going to work with. If you meet all of the requirements for our professional childcare diploma program, and that requires 2 hours of paid childcare, requires CPR and first aid, it's going to have over 50 hours of online training and 5 proficiency exams, and you need 5 references. You have all of that. You want to buy the program all at one time, it's $894. If that's a big chunk of money, and I'm going to be honest, I know that it is, and you want to break it down into smaller segments, you have that option as well. Each one of the programs, basic, is sold by itself. You start with that program at $298. When you're ready, 6 months, 8 months, a year later to go to intermediate, it's $298. When you go to advanced, it's $298. So you can break it up into 5 different payments by doing each level. Once you've done the work experience in your career, or you've gotten that extra reference, or you have the cash flow, we let people do it at their pace. Right now, I totally get that cost is a big challenge in being a nanny and caring for kids. And so right now, I want to share that we do have a scholarship program. The Nivens Scholarship by Nivens, she donated the scholarship, is currently going to pay for 2 students to get full tuition for the basic and the intermediate program.
Okay, so do we qualify for that?
Yes. So to qualify for the Nivens Scholarship, right? You must be a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
You must be 18 years old. You must have completed before you accept the scholarship.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Because it went ding ding, and you were saying something very important of what we have to have. Can you repeat that?
Right. So it's the Niven Scholarship will pay full tuition and fees for 2 people if they apply before September 16th.
Okay.
To apply, you have to go online to amsleeinstitute.com/scholarships. And there's a form you download and you send it to us. You have to meet the program requirements, which is you have to have U.S. citizenship,
okay,
be 18 years old, have your CPR and first aid, or be willing to get your CPR and first aid as soon as you're selected. And then you have to fill out the application, which has 2 essays. The essays are 100 to 250 words. So we're talking a few paragraphs, not 10,000 pages, because the essay committee does not want to read 10,000 pages. So they were honest with me. They're like, we're not going to do that.
Okay.
We've tried to make it as inclusive as possible. We're trying to, really help contribute to the community. And I will tell you, I spend a lot of time networking with others in the industry, business leaders, and I'm trying to spend my time to get some more of these scholarships going. Making this affordable is a huge component. And people are like, are you profitable? The answer is no, we're not. And we don't expect to be for about another year or 2. We invested upfront for 2 years. It took us to build this curriculum with college faculty members. We paid all the education fees. But at the end of the day, our mission statement is to have college level training, high quality value to help nannies establish their career without having to invest 10 or 20 or 30 grand into a college degree that may or may not align with the salaries they're going to get. So affordability is hugely important to us. And so right now we're going to do everything we can to keep our tuition and our fees as low as we can. We're hoping we can get the community excited and get students to enroll so we can keep it kind of where it is.
Okay. Now I'm a numbers person. I have a degree in business administration too, and minor in accounting. And when you were talking those numbers, I was like, wait a minute. It's cheaper to get the whole thing than to buy in $300 increments, because by the time you buy in $300 increments and you want all 5 of them, that's $1,500.
Yes.
Whereas you could save $600 and buy the whole thing. Now, my question is, if I buy the whole thing, how long do I have to complete the program if I decide, okay, I want the whole thing now, and and I can work on, if I can work on it a little bit at a time. So how long does this?
3 months.
3 months.
Yep. You have 3 months to complete the 50 hours in the student project of the professional program. You have 3 months. Yep.
Okay. So
I know.
if you don't have all the hours and you don't have all the requirements, then it's probably better to do the one step at a time.
Right. And
But
people, and you ask a valid point, and I will tell you, I don't shy away from any question. If somebody called me up and said, should I pay $1,500 or should I wait 6 months until I can pay all at once? I'm like, wait the 6 months, get the work experience, call me in 6 months, because it's the financially responsible thing to do.
yes.
So people, how can you do a $600 difference? And the answer is, we're not a business. So we can't do sales and clearances. It's tuition and fees. So there's no hidden agenda here. When you buy the classes, each program at a time, it's a $149 enrollment fee and then $149 of tuition. When you
Okay.
buy the programs all as a big bundle, you pay one enrollment fee plus all the tuitions. So that enrollment fee is what you save when you buy it in a bundle.
Okay.
Now, also, you don't have to buy professional all at once. So if you're the example where you're
Really?
6 months, right, well, you're 6 months away and you don't have the 2 years of experience, you have a year and a half. You can buy and save, you can pay one enrollment fee plus the tuition and buy basic through specialist and save $500 and then come back 6 months later and pay $300 and pick up the professional. So it's not just individual or the whole package. Each level kind of has a package. It gets very tricky. I hate that it's crazy complicated, but we wanted to get people as much savings as we could.
Okay.
So if you qualify for, let's say, the 3rd level, intermediate, you can buy basic, intermediate, and advanced and pay one fee and save money.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So it's
I like saving money. That's, to me, that says on sale. It may that's, that's just my brain. I used to teach math to in a welfare to work program, and it was a room full of ladies, and we were doing fractions, and they just could not get the fractions. I said, okay, let's go shopping.
Go shopping.
So when we went shopping and we took 60% off, oh, they knew that. When we translated shopping into the numbers, so when I hear that, I say, let's go shopping.
Right.
I can relate to saving money when I go shopping, whether it's shopping for my education, shopping for clothes or shoes or whatever it is I'm shopping for. If I can save money in the long run, if it's going to cost me less to pay a little bit more, on this end, so I can pay it off and save money on the back end, then yeah, I'm all for that. So if I am at the intermediate or the advanced level, well, yeah, I think I can do all those other ones and get to where I really am and spend most of my time in the advanced level. And because I might already know part of this stuff, and okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. I got everything. I got all my credentials, everything that you have on the list. I got it all checked off, and I pay that one-time enrollment fee for all 4 of those classes. Oh yeah, I can do that.
That's what it is. The more
do that.
you pay, the more you can buy with one enrollment fee, the more money you save. And so that's how we're able to try to make it as affordable as we can and still meet the criteria required of tuition and fees. Because we can't do sales or promos or discounts. We'll never do any of that stuff. We can't.
Right. Now, my question again, I know I asked you about all 5. You have 3 months to do all 5. But what if I only bought 3? Do I still get the same 3 months, or does the time decrease?
It's always 3 months. So because the longest running program takes 50 hours, that's what drove that they get 3 months to do a program. So we looked at the longest program and said it takes 50 hours. That's essentially, we kind of said 2 weeks. And then we strung that out into 12 weeks. And so there's this big formula on how long you're supposed to give people to complete classes. I won't bore you with the details, but it takes at most full-time 2 weeks, so you get 12, because people are doing this part-time on top of doing night work, on top of driving, kids around. So we gave them 12 weeks for the 50 hours. And so that then just rolled as consistent across every program. So if you buy one program only, just the basic, you have 12 weeks or 3 months to do it. If you buy the whole program, you have 12 weeks or 3 months to do it. And that's just the way it rolled out for everything, whether it's 10 hours, 20 hours, or 50 hours, everybody gets 12 weeks. Okay. If there is a hardship, if anybody has a hardship and they're enrolled into our program, we have a hardship form. You send an email to enrollment admissions, let us know your hardship, provide any type of documentation to your hardship, and we will do everything we can to give extensions.
Okay. That sounds reasonable. That sounds very reasonable. And I'm sitting here calculating in my head, that's 4 hours a week, people. 4 hours a week. That's it. For the whole 50 hours, that's 4 hours, 4.1. Anyway, let's just say round it off to 4.5 hours a week. If you can find, and 7 days, that's 7 days a week. You find like an hour and a half a day, and you can have a day off. A couple of days off, hour here, 30 minutes there, hour and a half. Because we have nap time, and sometimes nap times are 2 hours. Sometimes we got all our work done in the morning, and we just sit down and like, and while you're sitting there eating lunch, you can have your computer out doing your. I've done it before. And Angela,
it doesn't even have to be your computer. You can do it on your phone.
Seriously? Okay, so now that's even more appealing.
Our online learning system, of course, we're not online learning system experts. We have a third party that does this, but they are absolutely mobile friendly on phones, whether it's on an iPad, whether it's on a Mac, if you want it on a regular computer, a Surface. We are on a platform that a lot of other colleges are on. And so if you download the app and you want to be sitting there during nap time on your phone, and you want to download the class learning guide. So every single class comes with a workbook that was written by the faculty member, so you can follow along and complete your study guide as you go. Or you can do it on your computer if you want, watch it from your phone, do the study guide on your computer. It's all top of the end e-learning.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause for a moment and tell everyone, hit the share button, share with your groups, share with your friends. There's more to this than I originally thought. I'm pumped. I'm out. I am an advocate for learning. And, I have this year, I will probably in January, that's going to be on my list, because all my budget for professional development, I've been like 4 different places this year alone. It's still got like 2 or 3 more to go. So all my professional development budget is about tapped out. But come next year, maybe the bonus at Christmas. Yes, that'll help pay for it. But I know I want to go through this, because especially with the lawyer class, that's the one that intrigues me the most. I don't know why, but it does. I mean contracts. I see so many things in so many nanny forums about contracts, and how my contract didn't say this, my contract didn't say that. And I love Laura's contract for the nannies, the A to Z nanny nanny contract. I love it. But as an NCS, it's like, okay, yeah, some of this applies, but some of it doesn't. So and I kind of was like, well, Laura, will you please? She said, well, there's not enough interest to do this. And besides that, when you go to your NCS training class, you pretty much get a contract there. But still, even with the contract there, you still have to have the lawyer look over it. So it's like, So anyway, I'm excited about the lawyer class, and so
Here's
whenever
what
I
we'll
get
do.
to that point, I will be back to let you all know.
Our lawyer is Erin, and our faculty members are on our website. So if you want to see the backgrounds of any of our faculty members, they're on the website. Our lawyer is Erin. He's the most shy of all of our faculty members. But if you guys want to send info at Amslee Institute or pop it on Facebook, send the questions you have for me, because every single week we have a faculty member who writes an article. And if you guys have a whole bunch of questions for the lawyer, send them to me. I'll send them to Aaron. I'll twist his arm and see if he'll write an article answering all your guys' questions. But our weekly article is to serve you guys. And so right now the faculty are writing about what they're interested about or whatever's going on. But if there are things we can do that you're genuinely interested in, send it my way. I'll ask the faculty
Yes.
stuff for you.
Yes. Okay, so can you put the link on there so we can get directly to wherever we need? You just type it in the comments box. You can do it at the end if you want. I don't know if you're able to do that now, but type the in the comments box the link to where we need to send our questions. That would
Yep.
be perfect. I mean, to have a resource where we can just type in a question and say, okay, here's the legality of this. This is this. This is that. And to have other professional nannies, other people who have been professional nannies to answer those questions, that is so. That's a game changer. That is a
Yeah.
game changer.
That's what's great is the faculty aren't going to have every answer in the world, but they're going to do everything they can to answer what you guys are interested in. And that's what we're here for. And that's why I'm so excited to meet with you tonight and everyone else to do whatever we can to answer genuine questions. You talked a little bit about work agreements. I'm passionate about them. I created a 30-minute work agreement class. It comes with downloadable templates for if you're a babysitter, if you're a full-time nanny, if you're a live-in nanny. There's a 15-page template of things to think about if you're a live-in nanny. It is not perfect. I promise you it's not perfect. But that 30-minute class and all of those templates are free on our website, because work agreements, being able to have great conversations about employment is so important. So
Yes.
anybody that interesting can have a look at that or do whatever they want with that and come back and tell me what I can do better, because I've already modified it like 3 times based on feedback. So check it out and
Okay.
tell me what you can improve with.
Yeah, and I can understand why you've had to adjust it because I've lived as far north as Alaska. I've lived as far south as let's see, Texas, and where I lived in Florida kind of parallel. So that's as far south as I've lived. But I've lived in the East Coast. I lived on the West Coast. And everywhere is different. And I've lived in the middle, in Kansas and Kentucky and in Tennessee and Arkansas, all up in the middle of that. Everywhere you go, every region is different. The rules that go on in that region is different. The transportation is different. Like DC and New York, a lot of nannies take their kids on the train. You
Yep.
know, driving is who
They don't
needs a
know.
car when you have a train? But it's totally different, and the expectations are different, and the living arrangements are different, and the housing themselves. Basements are popular um, in DC and in the East Coast. Up north, basements are popular. Here, Texas, not so much. Uh,
So,
it just depends on where you are as to what your arrangements are. And that's one of the reasons why I love Ask the Nanny, because there's so many people coming from so many regions and telling us, we don't do that here. We do this here. We do that here. We do this. Everybody gets to learn from everybody. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's what keeps me
and
going because I love it.
nothing blows my mind like nannies who finished our program and are going to job placement services. As a licensed college, like any college, we have job placement services. And I focus a lot on our classes and curriculum. We do have job placement services. We have families who call us asking to hire graduates,
Yes.
graduates who are looking for jobs. Um, We have partnered with over a dozen nanny agencies across the United States.
Okay.
We do focus on APNA agencies that are members of the International Nanny Association.
Ah, yes. That's
We have
good.
nannies that we work with, and we have someone who rolled in and said, "Look, I signed up for the professional program. I'm in New Jersey. I have about a month with my current family. Can you help me out?" And I'm like, "Sure." Our nanny agency in Long Island, New York, here are two of them that we partner with, give them a call. And so every time I help nannies find a position, or I help them do their resume, or our staff works with them on how to communicate their skill set, or they go work with these agencies, I learn more about it. Because as you said, there are people who don't know how to drive who live in Manhattan and who are making $50,000, $80,000 in that area. And then you come to like
Mm-hmm.
Indiana, and there's a nanny shortage in Indiana, whereas, in other places, there's, job shortages different everywhere. And I'm like you, I want to learn as much as I can from everybody and then help connect people. So if I don't have the answer and I can connect you to someone, I'm going to do that every day.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
Yes. Someone just asked me about my t-shirt, and I wore this t-shirt. I'm glad you asked, because I wore this t-shirt for a purpose. It's specifically for this show, because I want to live up to this t-shirt. I want to be the super nanny. My dad has uh, instilled that within me. When I first told him 20 years ago that I was a nanny, when I was a little kid, my mom and dad told me, "You need to go get an early childhood education degree. You have a gift with kids." Well, both of them were teachers, and at 18, you know everything. And I mean everything. So I went and got a degree in business and accounting, because
yeah.
I know how much you make. I want to make some money. But then as I got older, I had a home daycare while I went to college. I had a home daycare in my mom's home, and I loved it, and I loved it, I loved it. I got my degree as 2 years. 2 years was all it took. And I'm like, I can't crunch these numbers. I can't stand this cubicle. I feel like I'm claustrophobic. I need to be at the park. I need to have a ponytail. I need to have my blue jeans and my t-shirt on. That was who I was. And I was trying to be somebody who I wasn't. You know,
Right.
it comes in handy knowing how marketing, taking that marketing class, knowing how to market myself. No, I don't know all about all the new technology, but I'm learning. But I know how to get to the sources of how to learn. But all of that, everything that was in there, my dad kept telling me, "You need to go back. You need to go." I went back to school, got my degree in early childhood education, went into the classroom, have gone and taught women how to do what I do. And then I found nannying when I moved to DC. And I encountered all these nannies because I was the director of a play group, and the nannies brought the kids to the play group. And I'm thinking, okay, so what is it to this nanny thing? I've always known about it. And when I started talking with them and finding out about the nanny group and finding out about nannies, I was like, that's right up my alley. I became a nanny, and I learned, just like you, my first nanny job was her first. It was for her first child and her first nanny, and we just kind of went like this all throughout the whole. I was with them for 7 years, and we just kind of weaved in and out, and it was a wonderful relationship. I love it, and to this day, I can go to DC and have a place to stay. I'm coming. Okay, come on, and that was how I learned about being a nanny. I tried it and I loved it. But then when I found out about all the nanny groups online, I found out about nanny training, I found out what I was missing, and stopped relying on my degree and realized, okay, so you got all this book smarts over here, but nanny is more about application.
It
You
is.
got to apply all these things, and just because you know them in the classroom, you don't use them, because the nurse is over here, the director's over there, and this is you are the nurse, you are the director, you are the potty trainer, you are the sleep trainer, you are it.
When you
Right.
become a nanny, you are the boss. Technically, you are the boss. So
Right.
you have to be confident in yourself to make all of these decisions and keep this little human alive and safe and happy. And sometimes it's more than one little human, it's three or four of them running around. But in order to do that, you can't just sit back and say, I've been a nanny for so long and this is the way I've done it all these years and I'm not going to change. Well, when times start changing and you don't
Mhm.
change with it, something's going to happen. That your actions and the reactions, something you're going to end up out of a job because you're not up on the latest trends. You're not up on the latest training. Uh, we don't use the bottles that we used to use back then. There's Dr. Brown's, there's Tommy Tippy, there's all these all these different bottles that mimic the breast. It's not just that little skinny nipple anymore. It's everything now, and you have to find out what works with that child. That's what you're there for, to help
Right.
guide the parents to figure out what to do with the kids. It's your boss. You're the boss. It's your business. And you have to treat it as a business. You have to be that super nanny because you got to train the mama, the daddy, the grandparents, the aunts and uncles to that one child or that those children that you are taking care of. Because if not, if you can't guide and direct them, and they're only, I've heard parents tell me, well, they only listen to you. They won't behave for nobody but you. Well, that's because you know, learn all the learning, all the directing, the redirecting. What worked back then won't work now. You know, people used to spank kids. You can't do that now. You have to find ways to become a negotiator right along with those 4-year-olds. You have to learn how to deal with those 2-year-old tantrums. You have to learn with the 3-year-old why, but why, but why. Yes, all of that. You have got to do that. And if you don't have any backup, any training, any go-tos, okay, well, let me try this. Well, let me try that. Let me try that. And once you have exhausted all that list of training that you have, okay, so then when I get to that point, I'm like, okay, Lord, I need your help because I have exhausted everything I've done, and this child is not conforming to what I want him to do. So you have got a lot of responsibility upon you, and think about it. If you with that family for 3 or 4 years and they expect you to be there for 3 or 4 more, ask them to help you pay for it. It's going to benefit
Right.
them. Ask them, tell them, sit down and talk to them, communicate with them. And that's not, I'm sure that's probably in your class, in one of your classes about how to communicate with parents and ask for what you want. I'm sure it is. If you got a lawyer and you got a clinical, a child psychologist teaching classes, I'm sure it's in there somewhere.
So
So
we have a positive discipline class. So you're not allowed to spank them anymore. So what are the
that's
10
right.
things you know? That's in our positive discipline class. And then we have
Hmm.
a whole class on communicating with families. And you hit on something really important that I always forget about. I see kind of who pays for the classes, and I'll tell you, there's about 50% of providers who are paying for their own classes, and I say that the credit card payment matches the student. There's about 50% of the time where the credit card payment does not match the student. And that is mostly families who are kicking into a continuing education commitment to those longer term nannies. And I will tell you that $300 each year for 5 years, those families are picking up that. They may not want to do the $900 right away that we would want to do to save all the $600. But
Right.
for those who weave it into their annual continuing education, it's $300 a year. And we're seeing, like I said, 50% of our students right now, the credit cards and the student names don't match. And that's what we think is happening. We haven't asked anybody, but that's what we think is happening.
Good, good, good.
So
They,
talk to families. They're in this with you. They want you to have a better time at work. They want you to enjoy what you do and help them. That's such a huge opportunity.
yes. And to answer your other question, I got this T-shirt from Nanny Tees at the National Nanny Training Day. So I was in training when I got the T-shirt, And most of the trainings that you go through, the conferences, there are vendors there that sell these cute little t-shirts. I have about 9 t-shirts, and about 6 or 7 of them came from Nanny Tees. So Nanny Tees is on Facebook. Their website is nannytees.com. Stephanie, I'm giving them a plug. So Stephanie Balcom is the one who runs Nanny Tees. So check with her. And I'm sure she probably has some new fall styles coming out, especially for during National Nanny Recognition Week. I'm sure. But hey, I lost her. Miss Elizabeth. Okay, I don't know what just happened, but I lost Miss Elizabeth. Let me see if I can find her to get her back on. Hang on. I can't find her. Let's see if I can invite. Let me hit that button. Oh, okay. There we go. Let me see if I can find her and invite her to come. Oh, there she is. There she is. And it says it's adding her. And there she is.
So sorry about that. We're so excited about the Nanny t-shirt. And I'm just going to share. I'm new to the Nanny community. I want to get in on the Nanny t-shirts. And since I have to earn the Nanny name, and I haven't earned it, and I'm always the first to say I haven't. So I'm going to flip it around and try to represent the moms in the group. And as I can learn from all of you guys from the Nanny, I'm going to come back and say I'm going to help us bridge the gap with mom. So
Yes, and we need some of that too. We need someone to help us bridge the gap between uh, moms and the nannies. I have something hopefully that will work. I'm working on something that, with the moms that I'm going to have in September, where I'm going to have a few moms on here for a special show.
great.
Yes, and it's more it's going to similar. It's kind of a I want it to be a professional development uh, show, so I'm trying to
Yep.
get it all set up now. So in September, you'll know. Trust me, you'll know. I'll put it out there. So, but yes, is
Well,
there
and
anything
I'm
else that you wanted to tell us about? Oh, I know what I want to ask. Now, I know this is college credit. Um, it's set up at a college. Do we
mhm.
get at the end of the each at the end of each
Program.
section, each program, do we get a certificate of participation or a diploma? How does that work? I know you said certifications and diplomas. So how does that work with each program?
Great question. Each of the 5 programs, we are licensed, and that gives us the authority to issue childcare diplomas.
Okay.
So after you finish the basic program, you earn a basic childcare diploma. We also issue you a certification in completing a basic childcare. Some people are very passionate about the word diploma. Some people are very passionate about the word certificate. Officially, we are a diploma
Okay.
because what's different is when you have a curriculum that meets the Department of Education standards, you can issue diplomas. Any company is allowed to issue a course completion certificate. We're not issuing those. We have proficiency exams, requirements, classes. So we're a different level of program.
Okay.
If you go through all 5 programs and you buy all the professional level, you will get 5 child care diplomas. the basic child care diploma, intermediate child care diploma, all the way through professional.
Okay.
So that's a great question.
Okay, good. So that's 5 different certificates to add to your portfolio. I'm
Yes.
just
And you
saying.
listen, education, high school, state CPR, basic child care, intermediate child care,
Yes.
specialist child care, professional.
All of that.
One of the things I want to do is I want to thank everyone, and I want to thank you, Angela, but I also want to thank the community who have let me into these nanny and are letting me kind of not just share Amslee, but also answer questions and be that mom who typed a random text message, and the poor nanny's trying to realize, what does this mom mean? And on a couple of help, or I hope help, and say, hey, I think what she means is this. I do have that kind of mom view, and I've learned so much from nannies as I'm reading through these comments and people sharing and learning from each other about how the communications are happening. I also want to do a quick shout out. Crystal is on right now.
I see
Crystal
that.
She's reminding me gently, because she's magical, that not only do you get a certificate, but we are a post-secondary school. You absolutely do get a transcript as well.
Yes.
So if you lose your transcript, that works as well. So thank you, Crystal, for reminding me that we do transcripts.
Great. That's even better because I could take it to another college.
Yes. It take us a couple of years to work through the federal system for other
Okay.
colleges to know, recognize us. So I'll be honest, we can't accept transfer credit yet, quite yet accepting ours, but we're going to grow into that. We absolutely plan to try to do that as soon as we can.
Okay. Okay. Great. I see that Stephanie is watching. Stephanie, we had a couple questions about this particular t-shirt, because I'm wearing this because I want to actually be a super nanny. I want to live up to my shirt. But I had a couple of ladies ask about your t-shirts. And so can you put your information, type in your information, how they can reach you online and how they can reach you on, talk to them about your nannypreneurship, and talk to them about the Nannypreneurship Lab. That's what I'm trying to say. The t-shirts and all the other stuff. Oh, and also, please, please, please put in there the I know you were doing something special for National Nanny Recognition Week. I could not think of that. Oh, like brain fart. I knew you were doing something special for the National Nanny Recognition Week. So can you put all of that information in there, Stephanie, so we can all get in contact with you? And those of you who just joined us, please hit the share button, share with your friends. This information, getting 5 diplomas and transcripts to match. You know I'm all about professional development. You know I am. And hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, one day I plan to have some scholarships available for Amslee Institute, because I believe in getting more than just 1 degree. My family, my youngest son just graduated with his master's degree. He has 3 degrees now. So, and I have 2 myself, and I'm and a host of transcripts from Florida, from all the training I did there, and from DC, and from Alaska, from all the training I did there. So it's always continuing education. It's always trends are always changing with babies. And every baby's not going to be the same. Every child is not the same. So you're going to have more, you're going to have to be more than just a one-trick pony. So you're going to have some, like my mom said, keep a song in your pocket. You're going to have something up your sleeve, in your pocket, that you can pull out and say, hey, let's do this. Or, hey, let's go do that. Hey, let's go in this direction. You're going to have to know these things. You're going to have to do these things. And, learn how to pull an art project out of nothing. My grandmother taught me how to cook, and she said, "Baby, I would go in the kitchen and nothing in here to eat, nothing good to eat." She said, "Baby, you can make something out of nothing." So she taught me how to make something out of nothing. And a lot of times when I thought I had nothing, And the boy's like, Mom, there's nothing in the kitchen to eat. And somehow I come out of there with a meal. Where'd you find all this? Yes. As a nanny, you're going to have to learn how to make something out of nothing. And
Make it
when
work.
you're taking all these classes and getting all this information, you know, little art projects here, little this, you can do it this way, and that'll make it easier for you. This will make it easier for your child. This will make it easier for your parents. You know, help out here, help out. You're going to learn all these things. When you take these professional development classes, you learn all these things. And let me see, somebody just asked a question. Oh, that was Stephanie. She said, absolutely follow Nanny T's. Okay, Stephanie just posted the information about Nanny T's and the Nannypreneurship Lab. And so if you all follow Nanny T's, you'll get some of these cute little t-shirts. I'll probably be wearing another one next week. But is there anything else that we need to know about Amslee Institute?
Just saw a quick question from Ann about trainings. And that's a great question. We are engaged in the community. So we're going to be doing some workshops with Nanny Palooza. We may do it with INA. We're going to do, in persons. We're going to try to. So we want to be a part of that. The programs to earn the diplomas are 100% online, and they're on demand.
Okay.
So we were to hire over 30 faculty members and have them build the curriculum, record the courses, build the courses, and they're 100% online. And to be honest, it's the only way we can remotely make it affordable and try to renew it every 3 years to stay on top of the current trends. So we know there's some people who love live classes. As I learn about live classes, I try to share them with everyone because I know some people want that. But if you are open to online on demand, that's kind of what our programs require at this point.
Okay. So online classes, 4 hours a week. That's what they average out to. 4 hours a week. If you take the whole thing, the whole 50 hours at one time, but you got to have the credentials to do all 50 of them, all 50 hours. Check online. Make sure it's broken down online as to what's in the, I have them written down here, the basic child care, what your requirements are for basic, what the requirements are for intermediate child care, the advanced, the specialist, and the professional. Make sure that you have all that because you only have 3 months. Once you buy that thing, 3 months. So you have to be on top of it and get it done. And if you foresee in your near future that you're not going to have time to devote all your time it's going to take to complete the class, then wait. Don't waste your money. Wait. That's why I'm waiting until next year because I already know that my money is allotted for certain things, and because I have it already allotted for certain things, then it's on the list. It's just not at the top right now.
It'll work its way.
I have several other things that I have purchased tickets for this year. I'm like, I can't stretch it in there. So
I know. I just learned there's this big nanny ball in New York that I didn't know anything about.
Yes, and that's on my list. That's on my list. I'm trying to get there too. Yes. So between Nanny Palooza and the Nanny Ball, yeah, those are on my list of things to do. And
we will be. I will be at Nanny Palooza East.
Yes,
I'm trying
to get to meet you. Yay!
Yes, Palooza East.
All right.
So
okay.
Great.
Crystal says Amslee is worth the investment. Definitely. Okay. All right. We believe you, Crystal. We believe you. We believe you. We believe you. And again, ladies, gentlemen, please hit the share button. This is some valuable information that your nanny sisterhood, your nanny brother, the nanny brotherhood, the babysitters, share it on your job boards. If it's allowed, share it on the job boards because this is going to help you to advance your career. It will help you to demand those higher wages. It will help you to feel more confident in what you're saying to the parent and know that you know what you know, and say, I have written proof. I can look it up. Here's the research. You can give parents, because a lot of parents, I find, even though you're supposed to be the expert and they ask you, they second guess what you're saying, and they go ask their sister, their mama, the best friend, whoever is closest to them. It's not that they don't trust you. It's just that there's a fear in there that I need somebody that I am close to back me up on that. And then a lot of parents who are looky-loos on the internet. Everything they find, and then you find that they read a lot, and give them something to read. Here you go. Here's this information that I was telling you about. Here you go. And they'll come back. I've had parents come back to me. I didn't even know that. I've been doing it this way for so long. This is so much easier. It's so much better. And the baby reacts to it better. I'm thinking to myself, yes, score.
And I'll be honest, I'm the mom in this scenario who hired a wonderful nanny. And I came home one day and she was teaching my little one sign language. And it never occurred to me. And my little kids go in milk, more, eat, and it was fantastic.
Yay.
And I gained a lot of trust. And my nanny was much younger than I was. And I absolutely had a moment where I realized I really can learn from these great folks who know more about it than I do.
Yes. I love that she was teaching sign language. I'm a baby sign language instructor. So that just made me happy. I love it when I love it when babies learn sign language. Some parents are for it, some parents are against it, but I love it because I can communicate with them, and it becomes a game at the park, and they learn more. And it honestly, from my standpoint of view as an adult, it does increase their IQ. Because it is a sending and receiving a new language. After I learned sign language, I understood Spanish. I was taking a child to a Spanish class for like almost 12 weeks, and I could not remember that Spanish from week to week. As soon as I started learning sign language, I started remember. I said, "Why do I remember all these words?" And I started researching, and it was like, "Oh, so I'm using, that other half of the brain that's just sitting there dormant. I'm actually using that now." So yes, I love it. I love it.
It's great. And she was with us for over 3 years. And by the end of it, her and my son were having conversations, and I had no idea what each other. I had no idea. I'm just like, whatever, I'm gonna go get some ice cream. You guys let me know when you're done.
Okay. Anne says, will you please share more about the instructions? I'm assuming the instructions on how to find the information. And I'm not clear.
It might be instructors.
Okay.
So
I have on the wrong glasses. I'm sitting here. You see me going like this. I'm trying to see.
Quickly answer both questions.
Okay.
Every online. So instructions, catalog, policies, procedures, enrollment, everything is 100% online. You can sign up at 2:00 in the morning, electronically sign your enrollment agreement, and in 30 minutes, your class are going to load into your student portal. So if you want to start at 2 a.m., you can start at 2 a.m. You're not going to wake me or any of the staff up. So if you have questions, it's just info@amsleeinstitute.com, or you can call us on our phone number. It's on the website during business hours, Monday through Friday. We will walk you through every step, answer every question you have. We're available to support you.
Great.
If the question is about instructors, all of our instructors are faculty members. And to be a Department of Education qualified faculty member, you have to have a master's degree or above and 5 years of expertise in the domain, which for us is. So we have 30 faculty members. They have master's degrees, PhD, and at least 5 years of childcare experience. And then of the 9 of our faculty members have worked as professional nannies or in a type of nanny position. So the lawyer teaches the lawyer class, the child psychologists teach understanding children. We've got nutritionists, dietitians, veterinarians, teachers, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, art teachers. Our music teacher is actually a conductor and does professional college level. She's a faculty member at another university teaching music.
Wow.
So if you look at our faculty page, you'll see pictures of them, you'll see bios of them, you'll see all their background. If you want to meet them, we do Facebook Lives with them. They write articles for us every week. If you have questions for them, again, those joining late, shoot me a question at info@amsleeinstitute.com. I'll do what I can to get a faculty member to write an article on the topic you guys are interested in.
Okay. And also, when they are those articles shareable on Facebook?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Then I will connect and I will share them on Ask the Nanny so that we can all read and we can all figure out, okay, they answered the question I didn't even know I needed to ask.
We just did helping with homework because it's back to school time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it was this Tuesday's or last week's was helping with homework. I know we have one coming up on, is your child sport, for those who are thinking about doing after school, sports programs. Our coach did that one. He's a university athletic coach. He wrote that article and wrote our class on athletes. So we're trying to do this back to school. What are your parents and what are your families thinking about? And as you said, give them something to read. Here's an article that has a couple tips that says, hey, is that child ready to be on a dedicated team sport? Here's some things you can talk about with the families if you're interested. So anybody who wants to share those, please do it. We're trying to serve the community. So
yes.
And thank you for putting them on Ask the Nanny.
Yes. And while you're sitting there waiting on the child to finish that hour and a half sports practice, hello, you got your phone. Let's do some classwork on Amslee. I'm just saying, use your time wisely. That's all I'm saying. That's all. And for those of you who came in late, you can use your phone. You can download the app and use your phone. Go to school on your phone. Usually, you have to be in front of the computer or a laptop or the sophisticated tablets. Anyway, this one you can use your phone. Just don't have fat fingers like I do. I have fat fingers, and I would type something and autocorrect. I'll put one wrong letter, autocorrect corrects it, and I know that is not what I typed. And I'll hit the send button because I'm usually in a hurry or a child is, okay, okay, now let me get in here. Don't do it. Don't have fat fingers like me, because then you all know there's one time I typed in something into Ask the Nanny, and I was teased for 2 weeks. I'm not even gonna mention what it was. I was teased for 2 weeks, and I was like, I gotta go back and change this, and I did not know how to go back and change it at the time. So for 2 weeks, I'm asking everybody, how do I change this? How do I change this? How do I? So yeah, I figured it out. Trust me, I figured it out. I won't do that again.
I'm waiting. Like, so far, I've done some silly things, or I've had connectivity issues like I did tonight, which I apologize for. But it's only a matter of time before somebody catches me doing something goofy or,
And, yes. Oh, I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your vision and telling us about the staff. And I'm still interested in taking that lawyer class. And I'm going to stick to that lawyer class. And everything that we can do and how we can save money in doing it and getting diplomas, not just a little certificate. It says a diploma. I have graduated. And bam, there you go. See, I'm a specialist. I'm advanced. I'm a professional. Yes, all of that. Ladies, it is, I am a big, big, big encourager of continuing education. And even if you can't go to Nanny Palooza, by the time you get to Nanny Palooza, you pay for the hotel, pay for the, or you go to INA, or you go to any of the other conferences. If you can't afford to do that, and you can afford to just get this, one little class at a time and save up your money, because we still want you to go to Nanny Palooza and INA and all the other places, because
We want
it's
to hang out.
we want to hang out. We want to get to know you. We want all these things. But what I'm saying in this case, if one is not possible, then maybe this is, the online one is for you. If you can't get off work to go to Nanny Palooza, or you don't have you're scared of flying, because I used to be so scared of flying. It was not even funny. And don't sit by anybody who's scared of flying, because your knuckles would be white from them grabbing your hand. But take
I'll
classes, take classes, take classes, take classes. Any development that you can do, personal development, online classes. As a matter of fact, Laura Brawley is teaching one on Sunday. Uh, so check that
great
out
one.
too. Take classes, take classes. Professional development is so important to your livelihood. It's so important to your knowledge, and so important to your career. So take the classes, please. And also ask questions. Send the questions in, because if we ask and they're gonna write about it, and we're gonna find out information that we need to know, ask the question, especially if you can get it for free, and information that you have been wanting to ask, and sometimes you feel kind of stupid for asking. Send the information. Nobody knows but you, that you sent it, that
Yeah,
you emailed it. Nobody knows but you. And with some of the email addresses I've seen, nobody will ever know it was from you because it's not your name on the email address. So just send in the questions, so that we all, because in my book, no question is too stupid. If I need to know, I'm going to ask, because it's detrimental to me to know these things, instead of walking around ignorant and do something wrong, and then it ends up costing me my job, or costing someone to get hurt, or anything can happen. Ask questions. No question is too stupid. But thank you, Miss Elizabeth, and I'll let
I
you
want to
go ahead.
much. Thank you so much. I've been a huge fan ever since I was able to kind of come out and join the Navy community. You've been a huge mentor to me. My Facebook Live started 100% because of you. I'm not gonna
Really?
pretend it's else. Yes, I called faculty and I made my faculty watch some of your Ask the Nanny recordings so we could learn from you. And so it was so great to be able to come in and meet you and learn from you. And I just wanted to thank you for being able to join you guys tonight. And it's been wonderful. So if there's anything we can do for you, for the community, I want to be able to do that and join you guys. So thank you.
I am so honored. Thank you. Okay. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. You brought tears to my eyes. I'm not gonna cry. Okay, because that would be ugly. Because I don't do cute cry. I do. It's ugly. But
Yeah, I'll hand on the fly. We'll cry together. I'm with you.
okay.
Okay.
But thank you so much, and I really really appreciate you telling us all the ins and out about Amslee Institute. It is on my list. I have a board that I keep, and then a list of details that go with my dream board, and it is on my list. Under my professional development is on my list, and I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Uh,
And reach out, guys. I'm here to help.
yes, we will. We will. We will, right, nannies? Yes, yes, we will. Okay. Uh, Next week we will be, as promised. Next week we're going to have part two of our nannies bloop, bleepers, bleeps, bloopers, bleeps, and blunders, the nanny disasters. We had so much fun last month doing the nanny disasters, and everybody requested to do it again. So next week we're going to do it again. Uh, so if you see part two come across your screen on Facebook, you'll know what it is. We're doing and school has started, so I'm sure that some of us have had some bloopers since school has started. So come back and share with us all of your adventures and your mishaps and your, oh my gosh, some things need to be taken to the grave, but I just had to share this. Yeah, we want to know, because trust me, sometimes you can help us by letting us know what you've been through. We'll know, okay, I remember this. Okay, let's do it this way instead of that way. You can save us some things. Also, Nanny Palooza is 6 weeks away. If I calculated right, it's 6 weeks away. And if you have not signed up, East, West, uh, Nanny Palooza West is 6 weeks away. Nanny Palooza East is not until November. So we have an East and a West, one in Anaheim, California, one in, I want to, it's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I want to say it's Philadelphia. But don't quote me on that. I'll put it on, I'll post it. So, those of you who haven't hit the share button, please hit the share button. Share with your friends. Share with your nanny groups. Share on your job boards. This is some important information about professional development. Share on your professional development boards. I'm sure there are plenty out there on your moms groups, so the moms can help, that have nannies, can help pay for their nanny to get better education, some professional development, to continue to learn so they can continue to teach your children. So do that favor for me. If you like what you see, if you have learned anything on Ask the Nanny, please go to our official Facebook page, facebook.com/Ask the Nanny, and leave us a review or a rating. Please do that for us too. And we will see you all next week with our bloopers, bleeps, and blunders. You all have a good evening.